Hey guys, welcome back. So today we currently have a moderate risk for the Mid-Atlantic. As you can see, it's for Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, parts of Pennsylvania, Eastern Kentucky, and Tennessee. So that's currently what's happening for that. This is currently what's going to be happening, and we have an enhanced risk all the way from southern New York all the way down towards as far south as the Atlanta area, even down towards the Savannah area as well, down towards Georgia, or maybe the Huntsville area as well. So that's currently what's happening for that. And then we do have a 10% tornado threat for eastern Kentucky. We have western and northern Virginia, most of West Virginia, which is actually pretty rare because right here, the mountains, we rarely have a 10% tornado threat because the tornadoes aren't very common out here. I mean, we may see some strong ones too, so this is quite rare for this area because, I mean, like I said, there's 10% in West Virginia. Do you see that every day? Because, I mean, it sounds pretty crazy, you know? But anyways, as you can see, it's for Maryland, it's for West Virginia, Virginia, Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, and Eastern Tennessee. So that's currently what's happening for that. And then over here towards our wind threat, we have a huge 45% extending from Eastern Pennsylvania all the way down towards northern Georgia. Like, you rarely see a threat that big for wind, you know? And our moderate risk is obviously the hatched area. As you can see, it's pretty much for Pennsylvania all the way down towards eastern Tennessee. And now we look at our hail. It's not too concerning. It's only 15% through Pennsylvania all the way through Mississippi. And small portions, northeastern Mississippi, and also, you can see there's a 15% hatched risk out here towards Colorado. So if you are also out in that area, out towards the plains and the Colorado area, I would be concerned with some hail for the day. That's not the main threat. Our main threat is pretty much going to be tornadoes, and it's going to be damaging winds, maybe even a potential derecho. So I'm going to currently look at this. As you can see, there is our severe weather. Right now, there's really nothing going on. If we put this out in motion, okay, you can see a couple of showers starting to pop up a bit. And if we push this out a little bit more, you can see there's our storm starting to pop up. The more this gets out, you can see we just have a cluster of storms. You can see some of these may be discrete. It's kind of far out to like tell because I'm zoomed out a little too much. I don't think I zoomed this in a little too much. But as you can see, there's little popcorn cells that are starting to explode, and there is potential for tornadoes. And as I push this out, you can see it pretty much just becomes like a wind threat down here towards Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama area. And then as well as over here towards Virginia and Maryland, and West Virginia too. As we put this out in motion, it kind of starts weakening. So that is one thing to think about. But then it looks like we have another line over here towards Delaware, as well as North Carolina and South Carolina. So that's currently what's happening for that. So now we're going to go on to the NAM. So let's put this out into motion. So as you can see, there's currently some rain over here towards southern Indiana. We put this out in motion. You can see it's kind of forming like a little squall line towards Kentucky, but that's not the main event. It pretty much just weakens out, but there's something behind it that forms. And then you have a lot of these discrete supercells. As you can see over here towards like Kentucky, you can see the Kentucky-Ohio border area towards the Ohio River Valley. As you can see, that's currently what's happening over there. And then some of these start spilling into West Virginia. And as time goes on, we have like a full-on potential derecho hitting towards Virginia, Maryland, towards this area, even up towards Pennsylvania. So that's definitely something that we gotta watch because as this low pressure system moves up towards the north, it's gonna be bringing just a lot of energy, lots of energy just pulling up towards from the Gulf and the Atlantic, bringing both of those air masses into just a lot of warmth and lots of instability that just makes the storms just blow up. Because if we put the sound in motion more, they kind of start weakening as sun sets, but we still got our line over here towards North Carolina. It's kind of everything's starting to weaken. It looks like, but then after that, it's pretty much done. But yeah, because we have all this instability, you can see a derecho, a squall line. This will mainly be a squall line. There might be a derecho out of this, but who knows? Because we do have a hatched risk of 45% wind damage. So that's definitely a huge concern that we gotta watch. Because, I mean, this is just not good. Because, I mean, as you can see, the storm starts weakening by the time it reaches Delaware and New Jersey towards the East Coast area. So that's pretty much what's happening for that. But now we're going to go over here towards um our photographs and also our cape. As you can see, this is currently what's happening with our cape. As you can see, there's only about 2,000 joules per kilogram out here towards central Kentucky as of right now, maybe parts of western West Virginia. But as we put this out in motion, you can see just the instability explode. So we could be seeing 4,000 joules per kilogram in central Tennessee. That's crazy, right? Because, and look at that little curvature too. I mean, you can see it kind of like does this and then goes down and then goes up again. There's a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. And as you can see with these ones up here, they have like a little spinny thing too. They kind of curve. They're like, they go up and then straight and then they go down and then do another curve. Which that could be what we're watching for tornado ingredients, especially up here towards southern Ohio. You can see it's just a little hook echo of some sort. Because as we put this out in motion, you can see our cape does start weakening out here towards Tennessee because all those storms are going to eat up all that storm energy. And I mean, as you can see, even when these lines are still passing by, we're still looking about 2,500 joules per kilogram. But then by the time the sun sets and the storms start going into, they start going closer to the coastline, they start weakening. But our storms down here towards South Carolina and North Carolina, they're currently looking at about 3,500 joules per kilogram. So that's definitely a main concern that we have to watch with this. And then after that, most of the severe weather's done for the most part. But now we're going to be looking at our wind threat. So now we're going to be looking at our high winds. If we put this out in motion, you can see, seeing our spotty storms and showers out here. You can see about 32 knots out of just this singular cell. Especially over here, we can be seeing about 33 knots. This is still pretty high. Don't get me wrong. But our winds will be really high. Like, you can see 70-mile-per-hour winds or higher. As we put this out in motion up here towards the West Virginia, Maryland Panhandle area, you can see it just gets really windy. I mean, as you can see, it's low numbers, but since we're zoomed out, you can't really tell what the main in-depth part is really. But I mean, just look at all these storms though. Which I want to say this might be ranging on the lower side, which means things might be a little bit higher. So that's definitely something that we gotta think about because just look at these numbers, geez. And then as these storms start going closer to the coast, they're pretty much just they start weakening and just create some waves off the coast. So now we're gonna be going over to our tornado parameter because as you can see, right now we do have enough spin out here towards central Kentucky to support maybe a few tornadoes. It's pretty much about a 2.7 right now for the highest, close to 3 for 3 out of 10. But if we put this out in motion, you can see our storms kind of start forming. I'd say our main tornado threat is going to be eastern Tennessee and Kentucky for the day. Maybe West Virginia. I mean, we do have a 10% threat of tornadoes. Which, as you can see, I mean, we're seeing ones, twos, maybe even threes out here towards Kentucky, eastern Tennessee. And by the time they head into the Virginias and the Carolinas, they pretty much just, it kind of weakens out. But I can see maybe in western Virginia, you can be seeing about 3.1 out of 10 for these storms to, like, produce tornadoes. Which, as you can see, I mean, we have 3.1 threat. I want to say around Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee area. This is where the mountains are pretty much the highest. That might be why this is starting, it's a little bit lower resolution on like because of the mountains and stuff. So that might be why. And maybe an isolated tornado over here towards North Carolina, but this is only one model run. We're still about a couple hours out with this big main threat, so this might not even happen really. But like I said, our main tornado threat is going to be pretty much right around the mountains. I don't think it'll be any more east because as the storms pretty much march through, I mean we have enough we have enough tornado juice over here towards the Chesapeake Bay area. Over here, it's only about a 1, but compare it to like this. I mean, this is like a 0.1, 0.2. So I don't think we're even going to see barely any tornadoes out here towards Maryland and eastern Virginia. But western Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and North Carolina, I'd be concerned with our huge with tornadoes. I'd be concerned with tornadoes. But also I'd also be concerned with our damaging wind threat. So that's yeah, because I mean as you can see, our tornadoes aren't going to be the highest, but still definitely something that we gotta watch. There's a 10% tornado threat in place, but a 45% hatched risk over towards Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. Which that's currently what's happening for that. Even out towards the DC and Maryland area, and parts of Pennsylvania as well. So that's definitely something that you gotta watch. But also, I am live streaming today. Actually, currently, I'm live streaming right now. So you guys could also go check that out. Because, I mean, we're gonna be tracking this pretty much all day. But I pretty much wanted to give you guys like an in-depth video about what's gonna happen. So that's why I made this video. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I am currently live, so you guys could also go check that out. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. That way you guys do not miss the latest information. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.